Avengers Doomsday is coming later this year, and for the first time in a while, it actually feels like excitement for the MCU is back, especially after those 4 teasers dropped. This movie is the beginning of the end of the Multiverse Saga. And let's be honest, this saga hasn't gone the way most of us expected.
No. With the whole multiverse thing, it's not great. It's just been miss after miss after miss.
Between all the movies, Disney Plus shows, and different timelines, a lot of fans fell behind, and it became way too much to keep up with. So in this video, I'm going to give you a clear roadmap to Avengers Doomsday. Based on casting, rumors, teasers, and my own theories, here's everything you actually need to watch to be ready. So first, you're going to have to start with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. And I know they're part of Phase 3, but the Russo brothers have basically said that Doomsday is going to be a direct sequel to Endgame, which makes these two movies essential. They also explain how time travel and timelines work, with the time heist and the Ancient One breaking down how branches are created. But the most important part is Steve Rogers going back in time to live his life with Peggy Carter. I personally think that decision had major consequences for the multiverse and could play a role in the incursions we're seeing now. After that, you're going to want to watch WandaVision. Wanda is probably going to be a huge factor in Dr. Doom's plans, so it's important to understand how she became the Scarlet Witch. We see her create the Hex with Vision, Billy, and Tommy, and we see how she becomes influenced by the Darkhold, learning dark magic and forbidden spells. And remember, when Wanda was first introduced, she wanted revenge on Tony Stark, so it'll be fun to see her end up working with a Tony variant. Next is Loki, seasons 1 and 2, and honestly, this is the most important entry on this entire list. Loki gives us the deepest explanation of how the multiverse actually works, from timeline branches to the TVA to how the sacred timeline was created in the first place. It also introduces He Who Remains, and even though Marvel has shifted away from focusing on Kang, his story is still crucial to understanding the bigger picture. Through Loki, we learn about pruning timelines, the Void, and Alioth, and what happens to universes that are deemed unstable. We also see what it looks like when a multiverse collapses. And by the end of season 2, Loki becomes the god of stories, literally holding the multiverse together and keeping countless realities alive. If you skip Loki, you're going to miss the foundation of everything that leads to Doomsday. Next up is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and this one is important for 2 major reasons: Shang-Chi himself and the Ten Rings. We actually haven't seen Shang-Chi since this movie, but I believe he's going to be a major player in the future of the MCU. So this is where you get his full origin story and understand who he really is. But even more important are the Ten Rings. If you remember the post-credit scene, they are sending out some kind of mysterious beacon that no one in the MCU can explain. Whatever that signal is connected to, I'm willing to bet it plays a major role in Avengers Doomsday. Now we get to our first true multiversal movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. This is the first time Marvel really shows us characters crossing over from completely different universes, and it confirms that movies like the old Spider-Man and old X-Men films actually matter to this saga. It also shows Doctor Strange starting to tamper with the multiverse, and that decision has huge consequences moving forward, which leads us directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This is our first time actually traveling through multiple universes, and it introduces one of the most important new characters, America Chavez. The key thing about America is that she has no variants anywhere in the multiverse, which makes her extremely unique, so don't be surprised if she becomes a major factor in Doomsday and Secret Wars. We also see what happens when Doctor Strange goes too far, with an evil Doctor Strange destroying his own universe. And in our main timeline, Strange starts to use dark magic himself, and the movie ends with him and Clea leaving to repair an incursion. And finally, there's Wanda. We all know she's still out there, and like I said earlier, she's almost definitely going to be a major part of Doctor Doom's plan. Next is Thor: Love and Thunder, and I'm going to be honest, this one is optional. You can skip it if you want. The main reason it's on this list is for Thor's character journey and for the introduction of his daughter, Love, who based on the teasers seems like she's going to be important in Doomsday. But the bigger reason is eternity. Love is literally brought back by one of the most powerful cosmic entities in the universe, and that kind of power could easily play a role in what's coming next. Next up is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This movie is important mainly because of the characters it introduces. Namor and the people of Talokan are going to be major players moving forward, especially since it looks like Wakanda and Talokan are forming an alliance. We're also introduced to T'Challa's son, which could become very important later on in the saga. After that comes Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. This movie was originally meant to give us our first real look at Kang the Conqueror as the next big MCU villain. But now that Marvel has shifted the focus towards Doctor Doom, Quantumania doesn't carry as much weight as it once did, even though it is still important. The biggest reason to watch it is for the Council of Kangs, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them show up in Doomsday, possibly just to be taken out by Doom and establish himself as the new ultimate threat. Next is the Marvels, and this one's actually really simple. At the end of the movie, a rift opens between universes. Monica manages to seal it, but ends up being trapped on the other side, and that universe just happens to be where the X-Men exist. That connection alone makes this movie extremely important for Avengers Doomsday. After that, you have Deadpool and Wolverine. This is another major multiverse story, and it shows us how the TVA operates now that He Who Remains is gone and Loki is holding the multiverse together. This movie also introduces the concept of anchor beings, characters whose existence literally keeps their universe alive. And when an anchor being is lost, that universe starts to die. That idea alone can end up being one of the biggest plot points in Doomsday. After that comes Captain America: Brave New World. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, this one is mostly optional, but it's important for understanding where the Avengers are heading. The main takeaway is that Sam Wilson is officially stepping up and beginning to build a new Avengers team. Even with Steve Rogers returning, I still believe Sam is going to be a major leader in the future of the MCU. Next is Thunderbolts. Similar to Brave New World, this movie helps establish that a new Avengers era is beginning. It also introduces Bob, also known as Sentry, and his darker side, the Void, which could play a huge role moving forward. On top of that, Yelena has fully established herself as one of the main characters of the MCU, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of her in the future. Next up is Fantastic Four: First Steps, and this is easily one of the most important projects on this entire list, second only to Loki. Doctor Doom is the Fantastic Four's greatest enemy, so understanding their world and their family dynamic is absolutely essential for Doomsday, especially Reed Richards, who is going to be one of the most important characters in the entire story moving forward. But the real game changer here is Franklin Richards. Franklin has the power cosmic, and that alone makes him one of the most dangerous and important characters in the multiverse. And in the post-credit scene, when we see Doom interacting with Franklin, it's basically Marvel telling us exactly where the saga is headed. Now that we've covered the MCU, there are also a few movies from Fox and Sony that could be essential to this roadmap. First, you have the original X-Men trilogy, along with X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past. We already know that X-Men are going to be involved in Doomsday, so these movies could give you a solid refresher on their history and their timelines. And the most important one here is Days of Future Past. I personally believe that the world we see at the end of that movie is the same universe Monica Rambeau ends up in at the end of the Marvels. That connection will be huge moving forward. Then there's the Sony Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. Nothing is officially confirmed yet, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Tobey's Peter Parker becomes a major player in Doomsday, and especially in Secret Wars. So now you have a full roadmap to Avengers Doomsday. There are more projects coming out this year, but as of right now, these are the ones I believe are essential to understanding the Multiverse Saga. Now let me know what you think. Did I miss anything? Is there something you would cut out? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read them all. If this video helped you out, make sure you like and share it with another MCU fan, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you on the next one.